Funnily enough, my mum had a little pottery at home, and true to my form, you know, I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger and not so young. I worked out that if I could commit myself to something, I would become so addicted and I would give it my all. I just didn't know what that thing was. And I was at a market in the hinterland of Noosa, watching someone stand in front of their array of pottery. And I looked and I thought, my mum's got a kiln. And so I went and said to this lady, how do I learn how to do this? And she said, oh, there's a little pottery in Butterham and they teach and they do classes. And yeah, I rocked up there the next day and I don't think they had any room, and I said, you've got to have me. And yeah, I was actually working in that pottery within a couple of weeks, and I just started firing up kilns, and before you know it, I was at that very same market with a table full of pots.
I think it was just a real no-brain collaboration. I mean, Sam had made the connection between Bromley and ourselves. Dave had done the most amazing painting of my father and myself. He was a potter and then became a painter. He understood ceramics, he understood our family. You know, our family's always been about decorating ceramics. It's not just, we're not a manufacturer of plain white tableware. We enhance the value of what we do by adding decorations to it. And so we have this fabulous artist, you know, with the connection there. So it was no trouble working together on it. We had to work, you know, with the shapes and decorations to make them fit the shapes we had.
Pottery led on to painting, but I wanted to get addicted to something, and the inspiration was not necessarily the clay. It was just like, okay, this is it. I found something, I'm gonna make it my everything, yeah.
It's a form of communication, basically.
Yep.
So you're communicating with people not in a language, but in an emotive sense. So they'll pick up a jug and they can't but help themselves by that jug because it talks to them in some way. If you see a great painting, it's contemporary. It doesn't matter when it was painted. It's like someone speaking to you, but you don't know what they're telling you, but you know it's making you feel good and it's making you think. If Dave has that ability to communicate visually with people and emotively, then it's great. It's a great honour.
I think when you have something that you've made or designed or been part of, it's really nice to be able to display it concisely as you think the world should see it, and explain it through the very textures of, you know, what clay is and stuff. And obviously, being a painter, give me a wall and I'll paint on it. So I'll paint some windows too.
You've got a really, you know, great Australian artist. You've got a family that's been making pots in Australia for a long time. Both have great followings. The pricing's great.
I'm passionate about the classic old, you know, like, you know, Selfridges and those wonderful old department stores. Even in Adelaide, where I grew up, you know, there was the row of them with the old windows. You know, that to me is classic old school retailing, and windows is a fantastic, look, it's a great piece of real estate to be able to portray. It's like a little art gallery, you know, and we're really looking forward to being able to explain the product through a display of things, to speak more about that particular product. So the things around it, you know, rather than just a nice clean pedestal and putting them in there. But I think the windows of Myer are just, you know, it's classic.
We've been in Myers ourselves, and my parents in the 50s were in Myers, so it's not something new for us, but by and far this is the biggest exposure we've ever had in Myers, and it's hugely exciting for us. And I guess for David also, and for Myers. I think that the time is right. You hang around long enough in the industry and you come back and People are looking for this sort of Australian collaboration that's not just based on Australiana, it's based on talent. The talent that's 3 generations of our family and the talent of David Bromley combined.
I think that's one of the best things you can do in Australia, and that's just, yeah, make stuff in a shed.